There is a moment that each of us has passed by, yet seldom lingered long enough to truly recognize. It is the moment we return to our very own breath. The breath has never once abandoned us. From the instant we cried our first cry at birth, until the closing of this life's circle, the breath remains, steadfast, patient, silent. Yet most of the time we forget it. We chase after thoughts, worries, unfinished plans, memories already gone. And in that chasing, we grow weary, drained, as if swept away by a river with no shore in sight. The Buddha once taught, just as a weary traveler, thirsty and far from home, finds a cool stream, stops, and drinks, so mindfulness of the breath is that stream of cool water. The breath is the doorway to dwelling in peace. When we return to the breath, we are like a lost wanderer who finally finds the path back home. Try sitting down, gently closing your eyes, releasing the tension on your face. Soften your shoulders, your hands, and let the breath flow naturally in, naturally out. No forcing, no controlling, simply knowing that you are breathing, knowing that the breath is holding this body, carrying the current of life through every single cell. At first, the mind may still be restless. It jumps from one story to another, like a little monkey leaping tirelessly from branch to branch. Do not hurry to scold yourself. The mind is long accustomed to wandering. It cannot stop at once. What you can do is gently invite it back, little by little. When you notice you are lost in thought, smile softly, take a deep breath, and return to the rising and falling at the belly, at the chest. Perhaps you will hear your heart beat. Perhaps you will feel the warmth in your palms. Perhaps you will notice the sounds outside, the rustling leaves, the bird song, the passing cars. None of these need to be pushed away. Simply recognize that they are there. Stillness. You begin to touch a deeper layer, seeing that you are no longer separate from all around you. The breath enters. In it are the trees, the sky, the earth sustaining existence together. The breath leaves. You return your offering back to all beings. Each breath is a circle of exchange, where you and the world nourish one another. There is no separate self, no distant other. All are in mutual being. The Buddha called this interbeing. There is no flower without soil, rain, sunlight. There is no you without parents, without air, without the love that sustains you. Each breath is a living testimony to this truth. And when you truly see this, you become lighter. You no longer need to grasp everything with tension. You are no longer caught in the fear of losing, for you know all are supporting one another, walking together. The loss of one form is but the return to another form. Sitting with the breath, your heart softens, your eyes moisten with gentle light. And from there, gratitude begins to sprout. Grateful that you are still breathing. Grateful that you are still alive. Grateful that you have this chance to pause, to see clearly the miracle that has never left you. The breath is the beginning, and it is also the destination. Why wander far when right here, in this very moment, life is already whole? After we have touched the spirit of right effort, understanding that effort is not to compete, not to force, but to return to awareness, then naturally the mind opens to a new doorway, the doorway of presence. Presence is not a distant notion. It is right where we are sitting, breathing, listening to the sounds of life and the whispers of the heart. Yet so often we forget it. We chase after tomorrow. We regret yesterday. and we pass through this very moment without truly being here. Peace. When the mind is restless, all landscapes are restless. Presence is also the root of love. Only when we are fully present can we truly listen to another. So often we hear without really hearing. Our ears may catch the sound, but the heart is busy with worries, judgments, comparisons. Only when we release those distractions, being fully here with all our attention, can we truly hear another's pain, truly understand their suffering. And where there is understanding, love naturally arises. To be fully present for another is the most precious gift we can offer. But presence is not only for others, it is also for ourselves. So often, we live forgetting our own being, forgetting that this body needs rest, forgetting that this heart needs to be held. We hurry, we rush forward until we are exhausted, until life feels like a burden. If we pause and are present with ourselves, we will see the body is still breathing, the heart is still beating. Life is still offering us each miraculous breath. And that alone is already a great blessing. Presence is also the art of letting go. When we dwell in the present moment, we no longer cling so tightly to what is past. The past may carry wounds, but we need not let it imprison us. The future may be uncertain, but we need not let it bind us in worry. Only the present is fertile ground for planting seeds. The Buddha once taught, there is only one moment in which we truly live. That is the present. If in the previous chapter we learned that right effort is the path to liberation, here we see that such effort is not about running faster, gaining more. It is the effort to return, the effort to be present. When we are present in each step, the path becomes light. When we are present in each breath, the mind becomes still. When we are present in each gesture, life becomes sacred. Someone once asked, how can I keep presence amidst a busy life? The answer lies in small practices. Nothing grand. For only when we are present do we have the strength to face the wounds, the longings, and the shadows within. When we have learned how to be present in the here and now, when we know how to pause to breathe and listen, then something natural will arise. The hidden wounds within begin to speak. Presence is like a lamp. When the light is lit, the dark corners are revealed. Not to frighten us, but to let us see they have been there all along. There are pains we carry from childhood. There are emptinesses born from a careless word, a cold glance, an unexpected loss. And then we grow up, thinking we have forgotten, yet in truth they only lie deep within, waiting for the day to resurface. We carry within us the longing to be saved. We want someone to come and hold us. We want a gentle hand to lift the burden away. We want a place to lean on. That longing is real. It is the cry of the wounded part within us. But sometimes, the very longing for salvation becomes a trap, because when we cling too tightly to another's hand, we forget that the power of healing is also present within ourselves. The Buddha once taught, be a lamp unto yourself. Rely upon yourself, do not rely upon anyone else. Not because the world lacks love, but because if we cannot see the light within, then even if 1,000 lamps shine outside, we will still feel lost. Imagine a child who falls and cries. He waits for his mother to come lift him, to soothe him. But if he only waits, he will forget that his own legs can also stand. And wondrously, when he stands by himself, he not only continues walking, but also learns a great lesson. He has the capacity to lift himself up. The wounds within us are like that. They need to be recognized, to be embraced, but not to drag us into despair or dependency. They remind us we have the ability to heal ourselves. Many people seek salvation in love, in work, in relationships. They part of us, we no longer fear it. When we know how to embrace it with breath and presence, we are no longer driven by it. And then we begin to see what we were seeking outside has been within us all along. The longing for salvation, in the end, leads us back to ourselves. Once someone asked the Buddha, "Are you the savior of the world?" He smiled and answered, "No, I am only a guide." That answer is like a soft breeze upon the mind. No one can bear all our pain for us, but someone can show us the path. And upon that path, each step we take is itself the true salvation. So instead of waiting for something grand to come and change our lives, let us begin with the small things. Save yourself in each breath. Heal yourself in each step. Open your heart to yourself before wishing for another to open theirs to you. To be present with the wound does not mean to feed it. It means to illuminate it with love and mindfulness. When light shines, darkness gradually dissolves. And as the darkness fades, we realize what we have sought outside is only a reflection of what has always been within. This chapter closes in silence. From presence, we see the wound. From the wound, we discover the power of self-salvation. And from that self-salvation, a new path opens. The path of letting go of what does not belong to us. In life, there are times when we carry burdens that do not truly belong to us. A harsh word from someone, a look of disapproval, an anger we happen to become the target of. All of these can easily make us believe the fault lies within us. And then we allow the emotions of others to become the chains that bind our own heart. But the truth is this: the emotions of others belong to them. Their anger is the result of the seeds in their own mind. Their afflictions are the clouds they carry from the past. Their sorrow is a river that has flowed through the private years of their life, shaken by fear. But if we practice presence, we will see. We have the right to choose. We have the right to listen without being swept away. We have the right to open compassion without becoming a victim. We have the right to breathe deeply and gently let go of what does not belong to us. There is a story in the scriptures. One day a man scolded the Buddha for many hours. The Buddha simply sat silently, not replying. When the man grew tired and left, the disciples asked, "Blessed One, why did you not say anything?" The Buddha smiled. "If someone brings a gift but I do not receive it, to whom does the gift belong?" That answer is a living testimony to the wisdom of letting go. Harsh words, anger, if we do not receive them, they cannot harm us. Yet letting go does not mean indifference or coldness. Letting go here means not allowing those emotions to turn into poison within our heart. Instead, we can look with the eyes of compassion. That person suffers, therefore they are angry. That person feels insecure, therefore they must discharge it somewhere. If we can see this way, within us arises understanding instead of resentment. To practice letting go of the emotions of others does not mean abandoning them. On the contrary, it allows us to stand firmly so that we may extend a helping hand. If we too are caught in anger, how can we bring peace to anyone? We let go in order to keep our own heart clear. We keep our heart clear so that we may become a refuge for others when they need it. Imagine your heart as a still lake. If someone throws in a pebble, ripples appear. But if you know how to breathe, how to let go, the ripples will naturally settle and the lake will be clear again. You do not need to hold that pebble in your heart. You can let it sink, dissolve back into the earth, returning to nature. Through daily practice, you will find yourself lighter. A harsh word no longer crystal clear, reflecting perfectly the blue sky and the bright moon. But just a passing breeze is enough to ripple its surface. And when waves arise, the reflection becomes distorted, broken. In the same way, when our mind is unsettled, we no longer see reality as it is. We perceive everything through the waves of fear, of craving, of anger. And from there, suffering is born. There are days when countless thoughts fill our hearts, worries about the future, regrets about the past. These thoughts are like strong winds stirring the surface of the lake. We imagine that these waves come from others, from external conditions. But when we sit quietly, we begin to realize the wind, too, has risen from within our own mind. It is we who create more wind by nurturing fear, attachment, craving. The Buddha once taught, "There is no enemy more dangerous than the untrained mind." When the mind is not illuminated by mindfulness, it runs wild like an untamed horse, dragging us into the blind alleys of suffering. But when the mind knows how to return to the breath, how to dwell in the present, it becomes gentle, calm, serene. To practice seeing the mind as a lake is a wondrous method. Each time anger arises, instead of letting it sweep us away, let us breathe and ask, "This is a wave. Where does this wave come from?" Each time worry arises, instead of clinging to the thought, let us see it as a ripple. And we know the true nature of the lake is stillness. Try a simple practice. Sit down in silence. Breathing in, silently say, "I see the wave." Breathing out, smile gently. "I know beneath the wave is still water." Gradually, we are no longer carried away by the waves. We learn sorrow. Such a teaching is like a compass. Amidst the shifting world, we too can become a solid rock. Through the stillness of the mind. Through daily practice, we will discover its wonders. We no longer react hastily when someone is angry. We no longer panic before sudden losses. We no longer let endless thoughts lead us into anxiety. Instead, we breathe. We smile. We return to the still lake within. Stillness is not an escape from life. It is the foundation for us to live more fully. When the mind is at peace, words are peaceful. When the mind is at peace, actions are peaceful. And from that peace, we can spread peace to others. This chapter closes in stillness. After learning to let go of the emotions of others, we return to see the waves in our own mind. And when we realize that the true nature of waves is water and the true nature of mind is stillness, we hold in our hands the key to peace. From here, we may step into a deeper story. The Buddha and Mara, the very symbol of the shadow within us, will be revealed in the next chapter. There is a story that has been told and retold through countless generations, like a lamp illuminating the deepest corners of darkness within the human mind. It is the story of the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree, when Mara appeared, bringing with him all the storms of greed, anger, fear, and confusion to challenge the Blessed One. That story is not merely a fragment of distant history, but a mirror reflecting every single thought and intention within us. For Mara does not only appear out there, in dreadful forms, but also dwells within our very hearts, in restless thoughts, in the urge to possess, in the fear of loss, in the whisper that says, "You are not enough, you cannot, you will fail." In the previous chapter, we saw how the mind is like a lake. When stirred, the lake becomes turbulent. And now, we step into the story of the very source of that turbulence. Mara, the Buddha, sitting. How many times in life have we been drawn by sweet promises, only to later feel empty inside? How many times have we thought that if only we attained this, had that person, owned that possession, we would be happy? And yet, like sand slipping through our fingers, Everything we try to hold eventually vanishes, leaving behind a hollow ache. The Buddha saw this truth, and thus Mara could not control him, just as a lake, no longer disturbed by winds, naturally returns to clarity and calm. A passage in the scriptures records, "Be like the unmoving mountain before the storm, the mind at rest where Mara cannot touch." And indeed, Mara did not disappear. He merely lost his power. For Mara is strong only when the mind is weak. When we chase after him, Mara grows vast. When we stop, Mara becomes nothing. This story also teaches us something very practical. There is no need to drive darkness away. For the more we push it, the more it clings. The more we reject it, the larger it grows. What we need is to light the lamp within. Once there is light, darkness withdraws on its own. In meditation practice, when negative thoughts arise, instead of resisting them, we simply look at them with gentleness. We notice, this is fear. This is anger. This is the longing for recognition. And that is enough. No need to chase, no need to resist. Just knowing, just seeing, as the Buddha did before Mara. The final image of that story is truly beautiful. When Mara asked, "Who bears witness for you?" as if to challenge whether the Buddha was worthy of awakening, the Buddha simply placed his right hand upon the earth, calling the earth itself as witness. Mother Earth trembled as if in reply. You have endured countless lifetimes of suffering. You have sown innumerable seeds of goodness. You are worthy. In that very moment, strength does not lie in winning or losing, but in not being bound. The Buddha faced, endured, smiled, and finally rested in freedom. From there, we step into an essential lesson in life. To live wholeheartedly, yet without attachment to results. In life, we are often taught that we must strive, must achieve, must conquer. Yet there is a silent truth. The tighter we cling to outcomes, the deeper our suffering. When we attain something, we fear losing it. When we do not yet attain it, we grow restless with longing. And when it slips away, we feel empty, shaken, even despairing. The Buddha taught, "Do your very best, but do not cling to the results." For all results are impermanent. This saying does not mean we should give up, doing nothing at all. On the contrary, it invites us to live fully in each moment, to pour our heart into whatever we are doing, yet to remain at ease, unbound by success or failure. Imagine you plant a seed in the earth. You nurture it, water it, let sunlight touch it. Yet you cannot force it to sprout instantly, nor command it to bloom on the exact day you desire. Your part is simply to care for it wholeheartedly. The life within the seed knows its own way. Life is the same. Live, devote, love with all your being, but do not clutch tightly at the fruit. When the hand releases, the flower blooms naturally. There is a paradox. The more we crave an outcome, the more we lose the joy of the journey. How many times have you worked, studied, loved, only to chase after a destination? And once there, the joy was brief, soon replaced by the rush toward another goal. Thus, we are drawn into an endless cycle. Desire, attainment, loss, disappointment, desire again. But if we know how to live wholeheartedly without clinging, then every step along the path is already. Falling leaf becomes an enemy. But if they sweep simply to sweep, then each stroke of the broom, back and forth, is a song. So it is with our lives. If we live only for some result, then each step becomes a burden. But if we live simply to live, then each step will be a blooming lotus. This does not mean we have no goals. Yes, but goals are like a lighthouse for direction. The happiness itself lies in every wave we are rowing through. Imagine this. If tomorrow you knew that all your effort would go unrecognized by anyone, would you still wish to do it? If your answer is yes, then you are living wholeheartedly. If the answer is no, then perhaps it is time to look again. Are you living for yourself or only for the eyes of others? Once more, let us recall the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree. He did not sit there with the ambition of enlightenment as an accomplishment. He simply sat, breathed, looked into his own mind. And in that wholeness, enlightenment blossomed like a lotus rising from the mud. This is the teaching for us. Live wholeheartedly, without clinging to outcomes. You may begin to practice this in the smallest of ways. When cooking a meal, cook as if you are planting love into every grain of rice, not for the sake of praise. When working, work as though you are placing your whole heart into it, not chasing after fame. When loving, love like a flowing river, keeping nothing for yourself and asking nothing in return. And then you will discover a miracle. When you no longer cling to outcomes, results come naturally. Flowers bloom when their season arrives. Fruits ripen when touched by enough sun and wind. And you, when living fully in each moment, will find happiness already present here and now, needing no waiting. This chapter closes like an invitation. Try releasing gently. Try living wholeheartedly without bondage. And when you look back, you will see that choose to avoid it. We try to fill the emptiness of fear with work, money, relationships. We pretend to be strong, pretend to be untouched. But the more we avoid, the greater the darkness grows. Like a closed room, the tighter the windows are shut, the thicker the night becomes. Facing fear does not mean rushing into it with recklessness. It is simply opening a window, allowing light to enter. We sit down, breathe, and look directly at the fear that is present. Practice this. When a fear arises, fear of abandonment, fear of failure, pause. Breathe in deeply, breathe out, and whisper, "Hello, fear. I see you." No running away, no pushing aside, no attachment, just recognition. Just as the Buddha recognized Mara beneath the Bodhi tree. Fear often wears many masks: anger, jealousy, greed, the craving to control. Yet when we patiently look deeper, we see that the root of them all is fear. The angry one often fears being disrespected. The greedy one often fears scarcity. The jealous one often fears losing love. The controlling one often fears the uncertainty of the future. Seeing this, we understand. Fear is not an enemy, but a trembling child in need of being held. A Zen master once said, "When fear arises, treat it as a friend. Invite it to sit, to drink tea with you. Then you will see it is nothing but a passing cloud." Indeed, fear is not permanent. It comes and it goes, like a breeze across a lake. If we do not panic and resist, the waters soon return to stillness. Perhaps the greatest fear in life is the fear of losing oneself, losing identity, losing love, losing the body. Yet the Buddha taught of non-self. The I we try to hold tightly is but a flowing stream without any fixed essence. When we see into non-self, disciples, bhikkhus, do not be afraid. Look into reality. Reality itself is the true refuge. When we abide in the present moment, the fear of the future dissolves. When we live fully in this very breath, darkness cannot overcome the light. This chapter closes as a gentle reminder: fear is not to be destroyed, but to be understood and embraced. When we dare to open, to face, fear becomes a great teacher, helping us grow, helping us find freedom. And from this courage, the next path unfolds, discovering the inner strength within instead of endlessly seeking support outside. After having learned to face fear, we suddenly realize something profound. True strength does not lie outside of us. It does not dwell in what we possess, nor in the assurances offered by others. That strength has always been within us, like a seed hidden deep in the earth, simply waiting to be awakened so it may sprout. Throughout the journey of seeking, human beings often run in search of something to lean on. We believe that wealth will grant us safety. We think that power will lessen our anxieties. We hope that the love of someone else will fill the emptiness inside. Yet, one day we come to see, all these supports are fragile. Wealth can vanish, power can falter, love can change. And when that happens, if we have no roots within ourselves, we collapse. The Buddha once taught, "Be an island unto yourself. Be a refuge unto yourself. Do not seek refuge in anything else." This teaching is a powerful call to awakening. It shows us that all strength, all lasting safety, begins from within. So how do we find that strength again? First, we must return. Return to the breath, to the body, to the very life that is present within us. When the mind comes to rest, we begin to see the solidity already there. Each breath is an anchor. Breathing in, we know we are alive. Breathing, wish for someone to rescue us. But if we can simply stop, breathe, and smile, we will sense a quiet energy gradually radiating from within. It is like a traveler walking in the dark who suddenly discovers a lamp already in his pocket. With just a spark, the night is illuminated. To nurture inner strength, we may practice 3 things. Dwelling in the present moment. Each day, take time to sit quietly, follow the breath, and know that you are truly here. Cultivating loving kindness. When love and compassion arise, the heart expands, and in that vastness lies boundless strength. Practicing letting go. The more lightly we release, the more firmly we stand, for we are no longer weighed down by burdens. There is a story in the scriptures. One day, the Buddha asked his disciples, "If a stone is thrown into the water, can you pray for it to float?" The disciples answered, "World-honored one, that is impossible." The Buddha said, "In the same way, if someone does not practice, does not find strength within themselves, they cannot expect to be saved by others." This teaching rings like a bell of awakening. True strength only comes through practice and recognition within our own being. When we rediscover our inner strength, we no longer fear the past, no longer worry about the future, and are not swept away by fleeting changes. We stand firm upon our own feet, and from that stability, we are able to support others without being carried away. This chapter closes as a turning point. Once we have found our inner strength, we no longer live as those who flee, nor as those who search in vain. We begin to live like a shining lamp, steady in the wind, spreading light to ourselves and to others. From here, the path leads us further still, to behold clearly the truth of impermanence, a fundamental truth that, once understood, allows us to dwell in true peace amid the currents of life. There is a simple truth that we sometimes forget. Everything in this life is changing. Nothing stands still. Morning, the sun rises. By evening, darkness returns. The noise of daytime dissolves into the stillness of night. The sadness that felt heavy yesterday is now a little lighter. The joy that shone so brightly the day before is now only an echo in memory. Nothing stands still. Seeing impermanence, we are no longer startled by change. Impermanence is not only loss, it is also opportunity. Because of impermanence, wounds can heal. Because of impermanence, suffering can subside. Because of impermanence, a cold winter day can give way to the warmth of spring. If everything were unchanging, suffering too would remain unchanged forever. But since all things are impermanent, even the deepest darkness will one day dissolve. When we truly see impermanence, we learn to love more completely. We know to treasure a hug, a smile, a quiet moment with loved ones, because we understand they will not last forever. We learn to say words of gratitude, to forgive, to release resentment, because tomorrow may no longer grant us the chance. Sit quietly, take a deep breath, and contemplate. This breath is also impermanent. It comes, then it goes. It cannot be held. Look at the flower before you. It is beautiful in this moment, and it will wither. Yet precisely because we know it will fade, we can see the fragile beauty of this present moment. If it bloomed forever, we would eventually forget its radiance. Some hear of impermanence and grow fearful, but impermanence itself is not to be feared. What is frightening is our refusal to face it. When we deny impermanence, we fall into illusion. When we face it, we begin to live truthfully. The Buddha once told a story. A mother who had lost her child was so stricken with grief that she could not accept the truth. She came to him, asking for medicine to bring her child back to life. The Buddha said, "Go and bring me a mustard seed from a household where no..."
Fading impermanence does not take away beauty. It deepens it. Therefore, instead of running away, let us open our hearts to see impermanence clearly. Let it become a gentle reminder that life is fragile, that love must be offered now, that mindfulness must be nurtured with each step. And when we are able to smile at impermanence, we also begin to touch peace. There are moments when we believe that happiness only arrives when we achieve something grand, a resounding success, a spacious home, an eternal love, or a distant dream. We keep running after them, weary and breathless in an endless race, forgetting the small and simple things quietly present around us. But in truth, happiness is not a destination at the end of the road. Happiness is the blossoms blooming along the path, the gentle breeze passing by, the ringing laughter of children, the peace within a family meal. It resides in every simple thing, waiting for us to recognize and cherish it. One morning, as we open the door and step outside, the chirping of birds among the leaves, the fragrance of flowers drifting in the wind, the sunlight pouring onto the veranda, all of these can be happiness. If the mind becomes still, happiness reveals itself instantly. But if our thoughts are forever lost in the future or clinging to the past, these miracles slip away unnoticed. The Buddha once taught, "Do not seek happiness somewhere far away. Return to the present moment. For the present is the only place where life is truly unfolding. A mindful breath, a peaceful step, a smile offered, each is a gateway opening into happiness." Someone may ask, is happiness truly so simple? Indeed it is. It is we who complicate life, and thus happiness feels distant. When we can be content with the small, even a cup of hot tea on a rainy afternoon can warm the heart. When we treasure worthy of our care, simple happiness needs not be searched for afar. It dwells in a compassionate gaze, in a loving word, in our full presence offered to another. It arises from gratitude, gratitude for a nourishing meal, a body still healthy, a roof shielding us from the rain and sun. If one day you find your heart empty, return to the smallest thing,
A breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and realize that you are still alive. That alone is already a miracle. Happiness is not something to chase after, but something to recognize and live with. When we return to simplicity, we see that nothing is lacking. In that moment, happiness is no longer a faraway point, but a cool stream flowing within the soul. And in that stillness, we suddenly understand the greatest happiness is made of the smallest things. As we walk through life, sometimes our feet are merely tools to carry the body from one place to another. We walk, yet the mind wanders far away, dwelling in the past, worrying about the future, calculating, comparing, grieving. In those moments, our steps are soulless, heavy, as if we are being dragged along in an endless cycle. But if we pause, take a deep breath, and place our full awareness into each step, life suddenly feels transformed. Mindfulness in each step is not only a practice, but a way of living. With one mindful step, we touch the earth as if we are touching life itself. The earth supports us, offering a place of steady refuge. When the sole of the foot meets the ground in mindfulness, we sense that we belong here, no longer lost, no longer drifting. The Buddha once taught, with each mindful step, you have arrived home. Home here is not a physical place, but a return to oneself, to the present moment. Walking in mindfulness means we no longer flee, no longer chase after, but abide fully in each moment that is here. Imagine a small path,
Already the destination. The ancients called it walking yet not walking, arriving yet not arriving. The destination does not lie at the end of the path, but right beneath each footstep in every mindful instant. In modern life, we move about constantly, walking to the market, to the workplace, along hospital corridors, or on crowded sidewalks. Each step can be an opportunity to practice mindfulness. We need not have a quiet mountain trail for this. As long as we return our awareness, even in the midst of noisy streets, stillness can be found. When we walk in mindfulness, we not only nourish ourselves, but also radiate peace to those around us. A person walking calmly, serenely, can inspire others to slow down, to breathe more deeply, to feel at ease. Such presence is like a cool breeze on a hot summer day, quiet, yet deeply refreshing. In the Anapanasati Sutta, the Buddha taught that the practice of mindfulness, from the breath to the step, is the path to peace and liberation. When breath and step become one, we walk without heaviness. Each step becomes a song of life. One day, if our heart feels heavy, let us try walking very slowly, as if stepping upon Mother Earth, as if cradling each particle of dust. Walk with gratitude, with the awareness that each step is a miracle. For millions of people no longer have the chance to walk, no longer have legs to wander freely. Simply remembering this, each step becomes a prayer of thanksgiving. Mindfulness in each step teaches us that happiness does not lie ahead, but right beneath our feet. We need not wait until we achieve something to be at peace. Right now, with just one mindful step, we are already dwelling in the fullness of the present. And so we walk, not hurriedly, not regretfully, not searching for anything more, just walking. With each breath, with each mindful step. The road may be impermanence is the very nature of life. What we try to hold today will inevitably change, decay, and dissolve. If we do not learn to let go, it is impermanence itself that will wound us. Let us look into our own hearts. There are resentments we have carried for years. There are broken relationships we still long for. There are past failures we continue to blame ourselves for. These are like stones strapped to our back. The longer we walk, the heavier the burden. Letting go does not mean forgetting, but no longer allowing them to govern the present. We acknowledge, we smile, and we gently set them down. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, "Let go of the past, let go of the future, let go of the present." When the mind is freed from all, there is no more rebirth, no more suffering. Letting go here is not escaping, but no longer letting the mind be bound to any thread of time. We live fully in each moment, yet are not chained by it. The art of letting go also lies in learning to trust in causes and conditions, to trust that everything that comes and goes has its reason. When one door closes, we need not cling. When someone leaves, we need not resent. When a dream remains unfulfilled, we need not despair. We trust that in this vast universe, there will always be new doors, new connections, new paths opening before us. Letting go is also about forgiveness, forgiving those who have hurt us, forgiving ourselves for our own clumsiness and mistakes. When we hold tightly to anger, the one who suffers most is ourselves. But when we release it, a vast sky opens within. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it transforms the present and the future. Some may think that letting go is weakness, but in truth, letting go is strength. The strength to face impermanence, the strength to live authentically, the strength to remain
Not poverty, illness, or external loss, but separation, hatred, and anger within the heart. When our hearts remain closed, still clutching old wounds, it is difficult to smile with ease. Yet when the heart is opened by love and cleansed by forgiveness, a gentle light begins to spread throughout our life. The Buddha once taught in the Karaniya Metta Sutta, "May all beings be happy, be safe, be free from enmity, and free from danger." True love does not discriminate between near or far, self or other, friend or foe. It is like the sunlight, illuminating and warming all beings, without condition, without limit. To love is not a fleeting romance of emotion, but care, understanding, and appreciation. When we love someone, we listen to understand. We are patient not to harm. We place ourselves in their position to empathize. And that love must first arise from within ourselves. If we have not learned to love ourselves, it is difficult to love others fully. Forgiveness is the same. Forgiveness is not forgetting nor condoning wrongful acts. Forgiveness is setting the heart free. When we cling to anger, we are the ones who suffer the most. But when we forgive, we free ourselves first. The other may not have changed, but we have found liberty. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha taught, hatred does not cease through hatred, it ceases through love. This is an eternal truth. These words shine like a torch illuminating all conflicts. If we use violence to repay violence, hatred only begets more hatred. Only when someone has the courage to stop, choosing love instead of resentment, can this cycle come to an end. Forgiveness requires courage. Courage to face our own pain, courage to acknowledge the wound, and courage to release resentment. Often we think that holding tightly to anger is a way to protect ourselves, but in truth, it only causes capable of holding even the fiercest waves. To love and to forgive does not mean allowing others to continue hurting us. It simply means that we no longer harbor resentment. We may keep distance, yet our hearts no longer contain thorns. We live freely. They follow their path. and we no longer let the past bind the present. Ultimately, we see that love and forgiveness are not gifts we give to others, but gifts we give to ourselves. They open the path to peace, bringing us back to the pure and gentle nature we inherently possess. And in each step, each breath, if we know how to nurture love, if we know how to forgive, then this life, though fleeting and impermanent, will still be full, still imbued with gentle light. There is one lesson the Buddha always reminds us. Liberation does not come from stubbornness or force, but from right effort, samavayama. Throughout the journey of the 14 previous chapters, we have traversed many aspects of life, from impermanence, suffering, and simple happiness, to love and forgiveness. All of these are pieces of a puzzle, guiding us to the final doorway. Understanding that only when effort is rightly placed does the path of practice become firm and steadfast. Right effort is neither overexertion nor complete surrender. It is like the breath, natural, flexible, yet continuous. If rushed, we become exhausted. If lazy, we fall into confusion. The right path is the middle way. Effort without extremity, letting go without abandonment, moving forward with mindfulness. The Buddha taught, like a person rowing upstream, if they do not exert effort, the boat drifts backward. If they overexert, the boat wobbles and may capsize. Only when rowing with rhythm can the boat overcome the current. Likewise, in practice, anyone, but to return to oneself, not to prove, but to liberate. Reflect on your own day. Have there been moments of excessive striving, worry, haste, chasing expectations? Have there been times of surrender, allowing negativity to take over? Both extremes do not lead to peace. Only when we place the mind in right effort can balance be maintained. A practitioner once shared, "I used to chase enlightenment as a distant goal. I pursued it with tension and disappointment. Later, I simply practiced, one step at a time, one breath at a time, sowing seeds of compassion. Then one day I realized enlightenment was not far away, but present in each relaxed step." Right effort is like that, not rushing forward, but being fully present in each step. It is the bridge connecting all other practices, mindfulness, concentration, right view. Without right effort, these practices cannot be sustained. With wrong effort, they become distorted. As we practice right effort, faith and wisdom gradually arise. We trust the path we walk, seeing small results, a calmer mind, a moment with less anger, a day lived with more love. Wisdom grows as mindfulness reveals the impermanent, suffering, and selfless nature of all phenomena. The Buddha said, "One who has right effort is like a lamp in the dark, illuminating not only oneself, but also others." When we place effort rightly, our life is not only peaceful, but also becomes an inspiration, a cool breeze to those around us. And from right effort, freedom emerges. We are no longer bound by perfectionism, desire, or comparison. We simply live, breathe, and walk. In that simplicity, we find fullness. The path of liberation is not distant. It lies in every choice we make today. Do we continue to sow seeds of peace, or let weeds take over? Do we maintain a wholesome mind, or surrender to negativity?